Puzzle League, or Panneau de Pon, or Tetris Attack, is a series of puzzle games published by Nintendo. You may have heard at least one of these titles, and if you're like me, you've probably been very confused. Does it play like Tetris? Are these titles different from one another? Why is Yoshi here? To answer those questions, yes, all these titles are from the same franchise. I've always heard of Tetris Attack back in the day, but never saw any gameplay of it. I always assumed it was just another Tetris game, but boy was I wrong. This game has absolutely nothing to do with Tetris at all. Instead of clearing rows of blocks as they drop down, you're presented with the grid of squares at the start of each session. You shift them around and have to try and match 3 or more to get rid of them. As you get further into each run, blocks will rise from the bottom of the screen. The longer you play, the faster they will rise up. It's a pretty simple concept and becomes addicting the more you play. Eventually, you'll learn to chain combos and do certain techniques and just see how much of a score you can rack up. It's a very satisfying experience, more so than playing Tetris in my opinion. There are a few game modes in each entry. There's the standard endless mode where you play until the blocks stack up to the top of the screen and you game over, a story mode where you play against NPCs, and a multiplayer mode. There's a few other modes, but those last 3 are where the game shines the most in my opinion, especially multiplayer. Multiplayer is a 2-player versus mode where you basically clear blocks to send over garbage blocks to your opponent's side of the screen.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
Clearing 4 or more blocks or chaining combos will send a good amount of these garbage blocks over to your opponent. It's so satisfying pulling off these combos when you're playing against a real person and just seeing their reaction as you pull off a sick, no scope 420 Blaze-It combo.
Oh baby, a triple!
Suck it, Brendan. It also gets pretty stressful at times as you're struggling to line up the blocks as garbage blocks fall down your screen. The only way to get rid of garbage is to clear a line that's touching it. You're constantly on your toes as you need to find ways to pull off combos to send garbage to the other player, while also worrying about what they're gonna send over to your side of the screen. There's a lot of management going on here. The first person whose blocks reaches to the top loses, and rounds are typically best 2 out of 3. So, what is up with these titles? The first game, Panneau de Pon, was released in Japan in October of 1995. It features brand new characters never before seen and has this fairy fantasy aesthetic to it. It's actually really cute and has some charm. When the game was localized for North America in August of 1996 and Europe 3 months after, Nintendo changed the name to Tetris Attack. The change was probably so that it would get more acknowledgement from places that were already familiar with Tetris. The Tetris company allowed Nintendo to use the name Tetris when localizing the game even though the 2 series do not have anything to do with each other. Along with changing the name, all the fairy characters were replaced by Yoshi and characters from that series. Was Mario in too many games at this point that they didn't want to make him a mascot? Even though the characters are different from each region, the game's menus and art style are pretty much identical to one another. I'll leave a link down below to a video covering all the differences between both games. Nintendo would go on to make more games in the Panneau de Pon series, but could no longer use the Tetris name that was given to them when localizing them for the Westerners. So what do? Do they call it Panneau de Pon for us? No, they changed the name yet again. Pokemon Puzzle League released in 2000 on the N64. I do not own a copy of this game, but from what I've seen, yeah, this is Panneau de Pon just with a Pokemon theme. Specifically, it's based more on the anime than the game. It even uses pictures straight from the show. And from this point forward, Nintendo would continue to release games under the name Puzzle League. Okay, except for that one. It has puzzle in the title and the logo looks similar, but still, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge came out in the same year as Pokemon Puzzle League. The names are different probably because at that time, Nintendo didn't want to confuse their consumers. Even though this series is well beloved by fans, Nintendo hasn't really done much with this series, much like a lot of their other stuff. Cries in Advance Wars. We got Tetris Attack for the Super Nintendo and Game Boy, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, a Nintendo Puzzle Collection only released in Japan, a Dr. Mario and Puzzle League collection on the Game Boy Advance, Planet Puzzle League for the Nintendo DS, and Animal Crossing Puzzle League. Wait, what? Yeah, there was a Puzzle League game in Animal Crossing New Leaf. It was part of an update that came out in 2016. The update added amiibo support, quality of life improvements, and new items, one of which was a new 3DS, in which you'd be able to play the Puzzle League game within it. It's honestly really cool that they were able to put this game within Animal Crossing. I'm really begging for some new content for New Horizons. Please Nintendo add Puzzle League back into this. But yeah, that's a brief overview of the series. It always confused me of what these games were all about, so hopefully this video will reach out to others that were in my position. If you love puzzle games, you can't go wrong with this series. I haven't played all the games, but personally, my favorite would have to be Pokemon Puzzle Challenge for the Game Boy Color. I grew up playing Pokemon Silver, so having a game based on the Johto region was really cool. A handful of tracks from the Gen 2 games have been remixed here and they all sound great. You can find a copy for pretty cheap on eBay or download it on the 3DS's eShop for only about $5. If you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can even play the original Panel de Pon, even on the North American SNES app. You don't even need to make a Japanese account to get access to it. Plus, you can even do online multiplayer. I know right now it is a bit hard to get together because of, a pandemic. So what better way to spend time indoors than to hit up a buddy and play some Panel de Pon? The only thing that's not so great about this version being on Switch Online is that the menus have not been translated. Luckily, you won't need to know much Japanese to navigate through the menu. I'll leave a link to a video down below that gives a brief translation to how to get through the menus in the game. Also, huge props to Planet Puzzle League on the DS. The game feels a bit generic since it's not really based on any other Nintendo property, but it has really good touch controls. I'm able to move blocks faster this way and it feels buttery smooth. It did take some time to get used to the controls for this one, but once you do, you won't want to go back to playing with traditional controllers. Not to say that they're bad, but the DS touch controls are just so good. Hopefully with more people playing the game on Switch Online, it'll show Nintendo that people are still interested in this series and give it new life. Maybe we can get a new game based off of another property in the Puzzle League series? Or better yet, Puzzle League 99. Tetris 99 is another great puzzle game, so seeing Puzzle League incorporate the same ideas as that would be awesome. Make it happen, Nintendo. That's gonna be it for the video, but what did you think? Was this video informative or help you to understand the series? Are you thinking of playing the game? It is free after all if you have Switch Online. These past couple weeks I've been really getting addicted to playing this game, and I'm so glad I found out about this series. I hope this video was able to give y'all some insight why this series is such a gem. Shout out to John Cartwright from GameXplain for his series of tweets that exposed me to this franchise. Remember to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's gonna be it. See ya.